Welcome into the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and on today's show, we talk about the 5 biggest takeaways from the Miami Heat's first preseason game against the Charlotte Hornets, where they defeated our rival Hornets 113 to 109. It was a come-from-behind victory. I know wins and losses, don't matter as much in the preseason as the regular season, but it's always nice to start off the year, whether it be in training camp, preseason, regular season, with a W. They come back after trailing from about 9 with 4 minutes to go. They go on a massive 16-2 run to take the lead and never looked back from there. We have a lot of takeaways from this game, and I think the number one takeaway for me is the Cole Swider emergence. And we'll get his stats on screen for you guys here in a second. But Swider, the former Villanova Wildcat, Syracuse Orangeman, and now, I guess, Los Angeles Laker, was phenomenal for the Miami Heat. He had 17 points in the fourth quarter. 17 points. 5 for 9 from the field. All of those shots from the field, by the way, were 3-point makes. So he made 5 triples for the Heat. He also went 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Swider showcasing a really smooth stroke from beyond the arc. Pause on the smooth stroke stuff. But Swider is someone who can carve out a role on this Heat roster, right? That's takeaway number one for me, because when you think of what the Heat like in their players, they like versatility. And Swider can play the 2 through the 4. The 4 might be a little overzealous, shout out Clyde Frazier, but you can see him play a little bit. Walt Frazier. God, I'm stupid. 2.5-hour watch party will do that to you. But you can see him carve out a role on this Heat team. He's almost very similar to Duncan Robinson in the fact where he's very good at finding creases in the defense, hitting spot-up threes, and finding a way to get open off dribble handoffs, and then passing to someone, relocating for a wide-open 3. So I like what I saw out of Swider. And could he make the Heat's roster? I guess that's the biggest question, right? The Heat have 2 active roster spots. They have 13 people on the roster. You're allowed 15 plus 3 two-ways. Your 3 two-ways right now are Dru Smith, who we'll get to in a little bit, R.J. Hampton, and then Jamal Cain. So he's at an Exhibit 10. So you might need to lock him up sooner rather than later, because teams around the league can look at Cole Swider and say, he's only at an Exhibit 10. Oh, well, he's played awfully good for the Miami Heat. We're going to offer him a two-way or, hell, an active roster spot, and Cole Swider will go take that. So Pat Riley is going to have a decision to make when it comes to either putting him on the active roster or giving him a two-way. Because if you give him a two-way, you're going to have to take one of the 3 people that already have a two-way and take him off. So it is a little interesting to see what Pat Riley is going to do with this Heat roster. But takeaway number one to me is that Cole Swider is someone that the Heat might need to roster because he showcased a lot for me in the Heat's first preseason game. Number 2, Thomas Bryant. Takeaway number 2 is the Heat might actually have a legit backup big. And I say that because last year, Dwayne Dedmon was not it. Cody Zeller, not it. So they really held the Heat back when they went to players such as Dwayne Dedmon and Cody Zeller. When Bam Adebayo took a seat on the bench, the Heat really struggled. And I think the Heat are absolutely going to need a backup big if they want to reach their aspirations this upcoming year. Talking more in depth on this situation here in a second, but I want to first get your guys' thoughts, and it is today's pinned comment. Who stood out to you in the Heat's first preseason game? I really want to know what you guys have to say, so I am going to pin this comment, and if you get hit with a YouTube ad break, let it play and scroll down in the comment section and let me know who stood out to you the most from day one of the preseason. I think it was Cole Swider, but we'll go back to Thomas Bryant, because Bryant was phenomenal. He came off the bench, showcased defense, showcased rebounding. 8 rebounds in about 20-plus minutes is very, very good, and he's not going to get 20-plus minutes, right? He's going to get 10 to 15, while Bam Adebayo plays the other 30-plus, right? So I'm not going to sweat that Thomas Bryant's going to need to play a big role in this Heat team, but being able to give 15, 16 solid minutes when Bam is sitting on the bench is absolutely vital. Bryant has a little bit of a three-point shot. He's athletic, and he's a smart basketball player. The former Indiana Hoosier is someone who I really liked as a free agent signing by the Miami Heat. The Heat made 2 legit signings in free agency, Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant. They were very selective because they were waiting for someone that went to Milwaukee to potentially request a trade, and they didn't want to make a lot of roster moves before that. But either way, the 2 people that they signed in the offseason are going to play a pivotal role for the Heat this upcoming season, and I couldn't be happier and excited to watch Thomas Bryant play for the Heat because, my goodness, it finally feels like the Heat have a true backup center, which they haven't had in a very long time, or at least under Bam Adebayo. Do want to give a shout out to Prize Picks, though, and they are sponsoring today's show. And if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you're going to get a first deposit match up to $100. I've had so much fun testing out my skills on Prize Picks this NFL season, and now that the NBA season is getting underway, I could not be more excited. With just a few easy taps, you could go turn $10 into $250 if you have the correct skills. That could maybe similar to mine, maybe not. It's going to be tough to have similar skills than mine if we're just going to be honest. But if you look at my picks for this upcoming NBA season, I did a little 3-pick selection. More than 26 points per game on Anthony Edwards, more than 21.8 points per game for Paolo Banchero, and then to round out my selections, more than Bam Adebayo, 9.3 rebounds per contest. I like Bam to average double-digit rebounds this season. Like I said, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. They're the best daily fantasy sports app on the planet. I couldn't be happier that they've jumped on board. I've had so much fun using them. And there's someone that I've used way before they came on board. So that's why I couldn't be happier. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Back to game action. Another takeaway for me is Tyler Herro's confidence. And he scored 22 tonight, and you're going to be happy about that. But what you're not happy about is his efficiency. 9 for 22 isn't great. He didn't have his 3-ball working, which is a little unfortunate. But I do think Tyler showed me a lot of things that we can get excited about. He was able to get to the mid-range, get to his floater. And even though that he was not converting all of his makes and was that very efficient, I should say, one thing that cannot be denied is that his confidence in his own game and his ability to get to his spot. He felt so controlled, getting to that elbow, getting to that free throw line floater, getting to that pull-up 3. And even though they didn't fall, I liked what I saw out of Tyler Herro, and I really think that he is going to have a major season for the Heat this year that even might result in a all-star appearance for the boy wonder. Takeaway number 4. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to play a pivotal role for the Heat this upcoming season. 13 points, 7 rebounds on 5-8 shooting for the young man. But I absolutely love what I saw out of Jaime Jaquez Jr., Triple J. You can tell that he is a high IQ basketball player. You can tell that he has experience playing on a winning culture because UCLA played a lot of high-pressure games and was one of the best collegiate basketball teams over the past 4 seasons when Triple J was one of their top players. So what he's going to be able to do is the 7th, 8th man for the Heat off the bench. I'd say he's probably the 7th man. Josh Richardson or Caleb Martin's going to be the 6th or 7th, and then Triple J will be 7 or 8. But I think Jaquez Jr. is going to be able to score on all 3 levels. He can rebound. He can defend. He can move his feet very, very well for someone that is his size, and he's an athletic guy. So he's going to be able to give you good minutes, whether it be in transition or whether it be in the half-court set. I like what Jaime Jaquez Jr. showed, and I truly do believe that the Heat have found a selection. I wanted Jalen Hood-Schifino, but he was picked 1 pick before us by the Los Angeles Lakers, and I would have probably even been convinced to take Cam Whitmore as well at 18. But they went with Jaime Jaquez Jr., and the early returns, although it's just the preseason, have been very, very good in my opinion. Make sure you subscribe here at The Heat Report because we're bringing you videos all season long. And if you didn't join our watch party against the Charlotte Hornets for the first preseason game, what are you doing? I guess what, though? I'll give you another option to redeem yourself. Join us on Friday evening. I will be live once again for the Heat's second preseason game against the San Antonio Spurs. So help us get to 6K subs. Join the channel today. I promise you what, you won't regret it. We do great work here at the Heat Report, and I just want to make sure you guys are the most informed Heat fans on the planet. Takeaway number 5, and the last takeaway of the game. This dude stinks. Dru Smith, a current two-way contract player for the Miami Heat, former Missouri Tiger, with the G League Sioux Falls Heat last year. He is not good. He played a majority of this game, the majority of the second half. He handled the rock a lot. 0 for 6 from the field. 2 points, 3 assists, had some turnovers. He's okay defensively. But this guy cannot be in an NBA rotation. He just can't. And I get he's only a two-way player, so you're not expecting him to be in the NBA rotation. But the Heat do have 2 active roster spots open. And I know a lot of beat reporters for Miami were saying that the Heat like Dru Smith. They like the improvement he's shown. Well, my question to Andy Ellisberg and Pat Riley, what improvement are we talking about? Dru Smith looks like an absolute bum. He can't shoot. He can't score. He doesn't have that good athleticism. He can defend a little bit, yes, but he's not going to be someone that actually makes a mark on this Heat team. So to me, I'd get rid of Dru Smith tomorrow. I'm being dead serious. I'd remove him as a two-way player and get Cole Swider as a two-way player. Just so you don't risk losing Cole Swider. And you still have a chance to maybe just make Cole Swider an active contract as we speak. But, just put Swider as a two-way and then get rid of Dru Smith. This guy is not going to get the job done. And the problem that I have with the Heat roster, the only problem I have as of right now, is that there's no true backup point guard. We have Kyle Lowry, and that's it. Is Josh Richardson going to be the backup point guard? Hell, he might even be a starting point guard come night 1. We don't know. So are you going to really tell me that Dru Smith is a two-way guy who you think can be the third point guard on this team? Because I tell you what, he can't. Dru Smith is not good. He is not good. And I hate to just flame Dru Smith like this. But, I'm being serious. When you watch the game, box score hunting, I don't do it. And because I think you need to get a full landscape of the game to get your full thoughts. But the box score doesn't look good, and the eye test looks even worse. Dru Smith cannot be on the roster come October 25th. Just simply cannot. That's going to do it for today's show. As always, thanks for tuning in throughout the entirety of the video. Make sure you haven't, or if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We're doing live watch parties like we did against the Hornets where the Heat won 113-109. And as I mentioned just a little bit ago, we will be live on Friday night for the Heat's second preseason game against the San Antonio Spurs, where Jimmy Butler is expected to play in that game. So we'll have Jimmy. I don't know who else we'll have, but maybe we get Jimmy Butler plus some of the other starters in the second preseason game. That would be pretty good in my opinion. So make sure you subscribe, join the channel, and stay tuned on Friday night for our second watch party of the 23-24 NBA regular season.